be unanswered. That's the first direction I very kindly request for your directions on. The second one, Mr. Speaker, sir, is the contents. The motion as moved by my friend Mr. Rogoy at page 6 of the motion says this, Mr. Speaker, sir. The Assembly resolves to impeach the Governor under Article 181 of the Constitution, Section 33 of the County Government Act, and Standing Order number 70 and 70A. I place a premium on the use of the provisions of Standing Order number 70A. Mr. Speaker, sir, that Standing Order number 70A is to the effect that subsection 1, a motion by a member of the a motion by any member for the removal of a county governor by impeachment may be reintroduced in the county assembly on the expiry of 90 days from the date of a vote by the Senate. Subsection 2. Despite paragraph 1, a motion for removal of the county governor by impeachment may be reintroduced in the county assembly on other grounds other than the initial grounds that were highlighted in the previous impeachment proceedings. And my emphasis is in the subsection 2, Mr. Speaker, sir. So Mr. Speaker, sir, I was making reference to Standing Order 70A subsection 2, which says that none of the things, and I just want to put emphasis on the words used by your standing orders, that were highlighted. It's not a question of whether they were determined, whether they were considered, it's just grounds that were highlighted in the previous impeachment. Mr. Speaker, sir, half or slightly more than half of the issues moved by Honorable Rogoy, in terms of both the subject matter and the annexures in support, were issues that were dealt with by this assembly in the impeachment proceedings of September 2024. They are namely Kasi Mutani initiative, exactly the same contentions, exactly the same annexures. The other one is the issue of Mandiani accident, the same issues, the same annexures. The other issue is the issue of the staff, the alleged unlawful dismissals, transfers, and related issues. And the same affidavit is being used in these proceedings in support of that. And lastly is the issue of the alleged subversion of the county assembly. Those 5 issues, Mr. Speaker, sir, were directly in issue in the previous impeachment proceedings, were directly grounds that were highlighted in previous impeachment proceedings. And Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like your directions on whether you are calling on us, notwithstanding the provisions of that standing order, to have to respond to that, or we should assume that being faithful to the standing orders, you do not require us to have to respond to that. The last issue I seek your directions on, Mr. Speaker, sir, is that your standing order number 96 requires that you should not engage in discussions of matters that are sub judice, being that they are matters that are in court. Particularly standing order number 96, 1 and 96, 2. Which are to the effect that, subject to paragraph 5, no member shall refer to any particular matter which is sub judice or which by the operation of any written law is secret. So we are not talking about it being secret, we are limited to the issue of being sub judice. Then paragraph 2, a matter shall be considered to be sub judice when it refers to an active criminal or civil proceedings in court. Mr. Speaker, sir, when Mr. Rogoy was moving the motion, at a certain point he very explicitly said, yeah, these cases are in court. And I have particular reference to the contents of the motion, page 16, page 19, page 20, page 21, and page 22, which not only includes the cases, but also refers to court documents. And so, Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to know whether, notwithstanding the provisions of Standing Order number 96, you are requiring us to discuss the issues that are in court. With that, Mr. Speaker, sir, just so that it's clear, I will request the Honorable Governor say something, then I will go into our defense.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you so much, Katwa. The Honorable Governor, you say something before I...
Mr. Speaker, sir, we were requesting for your directions before Mr. Governor. Yes.
Order.
Kindly.
All right.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Katwa. The leader of majority, yes, point of order. Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I'm rising on the same Standing Order number 96, Mr. Speaker. Since the Senior Council decided to refer to the previous matter or to the previous impeachment that was conducted in this House, Mr. Speaker, and subsequently it landed in the Senate, Mr. Speaker. Number one, Mr. Speaker, I remember the Senior Counsel, Honorable Katwa, Kigen, that time, Mr. Speaker, filed a preliminary objection, and through the ruling of the Speaker, Honorable Kingi, Speaker of the Senate of Kenya, Mr. Speaker, on the issues of court injunctions, Mr. Speaker, I'm aware that indeed we were sent back to this House, Mr. Speaker, or the motion was unable to be discussed in the floor of the House, Mr. Speaker, because of one, the preliminary objections that Mr. Katwa Kigen, the Senior Counsel, had filed with the Senate, Mr. Speaker. And during the ruling of the Senate Speaker, number one, Mr. Speaker, he ruled and based on the Supreme Court rulings, Mr. Speaker, that a process of a county assembly, of a national assembly, and that of Senate, Mr. Speaker, cannot be injected. And by that, Mr. Speaker, I didn't see Senior Counsel Kigen challenging the findings and the ruling of the Supreme Court at that time. And so, before we even, I'm not trying to carry Mr. Speaker on the same, but since he decided to refer to the previous matters that were in the Senate, is the one that did file the PO at that time, Mr. Speaker, and the ruling was done, and it was referred to the previous ruling of a Supreme Court, Mr. Speaker. So it was just informing the House. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, thank you. Leader of majority. Okay. So, thank you so much, Katwa, Lead Counsel Katwa Kigen, on the issues that you have raised. Number one is on the matter of, you have mentioned of court order, which we are not in receipt of that court order, and therefore I am limited even to respond to it. And maybe just to guide you a bit is that we have our County Assembly Service Powers and Privileges Act, that is Cap 265C, on service of civil process, and to that effect none has been served before us. Maybe you can just refer to that. I don't need to read to it. So on that matter, we shall just proceed, because we can't admit, for instance, maybe you have it here, we can't admit any strange documents at the moment in this House, because already the motion, we are already discussing and debating the motion. I don't even want to talk about what the leader of majority has spoken about on the matter of the ruling made in the Senate on the issue of injuncting parliamentary process. I don't want to speak about that because I think as a lead counsel, and of course you know as a senior counsel in this republic, you know the ruling, the Supreme Court's ruling on that matter, because we are in the midst of a process that is ongoing. Secondly is on the issue of the motion mover, standing order number 70A. Of course, carefully as you can see, under number 8, the motion mover relied heavily on Article 181, Section 33, as well as the standing order number 70 and 70A. So there are two. Katwa, you've chosen only to rely on 70A by opposing it, but you have not considered 70. Nevertheless, we also appreciate the fact that you were with us last time until the Senate. And as you know clearly, is that what the leader majority has raised is true. The Senate didn't even get a chance to prosecute the matters that had been raised in that impeachment. They took a vote because he raised a preliminary objection on matters and numbers, which actually the case was not even, the file was not even open for discussion. Nevertheless, the standing orders also, as you can see, uses the word may. You may underline that, may, not shall. I think those are the things that small things that we need to look at. And then on the matter of sub judice now, because already we have addressed the issue of court order, then I think that one I will not now, that is overtaken by the event now, because we have not received any court order. So we would have even love to address it in a different manner, but as of now we cannot talk of something that has not been received officially, or not officially. I've not even been received. I've not even heard about it personally. In fact, I've just heard about it now when we just took to the floor, Katwa. Let it be on record. So I think I'll just direct you to proceed to the main your main submissions, so that we can proceed and also save time before we give it to the governor. So do you still want me to give to the governor, or I give it to you? You proceed to the main submissions. Okay. Thank you, His Excellency the Governor. Probably you can step forward here, Your Excellency. Maybe you can, yes.
Thank you so much. Mr. Speaker, sir, and the honorable members of the Assembly.
Sorry, Your Excellency. Order. You'll already be informed that you need to take an oath. So please, sorry for that.
Well, yes, Speaker. I was waiting for that.
Sorry. Okay. Clerk, can you administer the oath?
I, His Excellency Dr. Eric Mutahi, do swear that the evidence I shall keep before this committee is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Now you can proceed with your submission.
Thank you so much. My submission, Mr. Speaker, thank you so much for this great time this afternoon. And with a lot of humility, unlike the previous impeachment, Mr. Speaker, I was not there in person. But because this is a second impeachment happening in a row in Kericho County, the previous governor was impeached once. This one of Kericho County has been impeached the first time. This is the second time, and I thought I would like to come and listen also to debates, contribute, and also provide the facts that pertain to this county. Because the matters beforehand, Mr. Speaker, are grave issues that are of importance to the great people of Kericho County that they elected us to be able to serve them. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, I'm very happy that my persistent accuser, Mr. Ragon, today did not protect anybody in Puibui, and it's an improvement from the previous impeachment, Mr. Speaker. I was looking around, and when he was presenting videos, I thought I would see something like Puibui, and we were not prepared for that, Mr. Speaker. But I'm happy that today he has improved a bit from the previous one, which is very good for all of us, because we're now discussing very substantive issues. Number 3, Mr. Speaker, is to really appreciate your kind gesture since we came to this house. You've received us very well. The debates has proceeded very well. And I think this is a strength of maturity in the democracy of a nation, where we can agree, we can disagree to agree, and at the end of the day we are able to debate on facts and even provide proper directions for the county governments that the Lord has placed us under jurisdiction. Number 4, Mr. Speaker, I would just like to make some few observations that as it is and the matters before us at hand, the matters that has been raised substantially here, I received the reports of this house after the impeachment has been tabled. A discussion was made in this house on the ad hoc committee on fictitious payment. Mr. Speaker, sir, it's just the following day after the discussion that I was able to receive the documents at around 4 a.m. and the impeachment motion was tabled in this house notice at around 2 p.m. Mr. Speaker, on the committee report on NAFCDB and the report on FLOCA, very great reports. These were debated long after the impeachment notice has been given, Mr. Speaker, and the reports were then submitted to me way after the notice of impeachment has been done, Mr. Speaker. In all human possibility, Speaker, but when I was waiting for the reports to work on it, already an impeachment motion has been tabled in this great house. I say this, Mr. Speaker, not because we don't want to adduce to the fact, but just to let the people of Kericho understand that when we get to a point of saying that the governor had not acted in the report, it is good to know that these reports came way even after the impeachment notice has been done, and it is what substantially is forming part of the grounds of the impeachment that has been made, Mr. Speaker. It is only fair in natural justice to be able to provide, like these reports would have come to me in good time, read the report, interpret it, and then come out to the public to indicate or write to this report at the assembly on the steps that the governor intends to do based on the reports. I've written the reports. It has given me days of around 28 days to be able to implement, Mr. Speaker, but the impeachment came even before the half day began, Mr. Speaker. Thirdly, Mr. Speaker, I am committed to this great assembly and the great members here and the people of Kericho to go, or having gone through the report, to do the following. Number 1, to be able to act on the same report in totality within the stipulated framework that was given by this house. That is and still remains my commitment towards the given report. Mr. Speaker, to demonstrate our commitment in settling these matters, funds embezzlement is not a political question. It is criminal questions in nature. I have indicated times and above that corruption is what has taken Africa back and is what has destroyed nations. My commitment is demonstrated by the fact that EACC, DCI has taken sense of the matter. As a county government, we have already submitted the documents to EACC and the DCI, who have been sent to come and prosecute this matter within also the relevant structures which portrays what this great assembly has done. Our commitment is to fully implement, cooperate with the agencies to ensure that the same is done and justice is served by the people, is served and given to the people of Kericho. Mr. Speaker, matters have been raised on the inconsistencies of the governor on this matter. One such matter is my speech at Chegorigei, whom it says I glorify the committee which I held at very high esteem, and also seems to be providing the same direction. It is then in my view that if we listen to the entire of that clip, I did indicate it, that those who are found culpable must face the law. And it is a commitment that I have. I don't have the instruments of investigation. Probably this House has, the EACC has, and the DCI. But a governor does not have the instruments. And this relies on the report that has been given to me. Mr. Speaker, I also rose because my lead counsel will use the smallest time we have, and we promise, Speaker, we will not even take 1.5 minutes, Mr. Speaker, because I really need the tea. It's been 1 week of agony and pressure, and we will really take the tea, Mr. Speaker. And I know when you had bet, and my good friends will take the floor here, some of the things they will say here may force pressure to go up a bit, Mr. Speaker, and I would like to safely hide me in your office, Mr. Speaker. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, questions have arose on the imbalanced distributions of works in this county. My chief accuser, who is also my good friend, Honorable Rogoin, didn't report to this House as a few weeks ago he was doing a road in his ward, Mr. Speaker. I thought he was going to tell his people that he has just done a road, and so many others. I was also anticipating my chief accuser to indicate to the seconder of the motion, my good friend and my age-mate, Vincent Korir, that at this home, Londiani, Chagorod Water Project, which is going approximately 80 million, funded by Flocker, is almost 90% completion or almost done, and we are planning even for His Excellency President to come and commission, because he's one of the best in this area. My good friend, Honorable Dagoni, my chief accuser, equally, says that my friend Norman, and he claims he's my relative, and I don't want to discuss the substance because we are not here to discuss relatives and cousins and brothers and sisters, but he did also mention that SAO's water project, which is in the ward of Honorable Kavlela, that Mheshimiwa Maji, Kapsasur water project, and bordering his own constituency, his own ward, is actually funded by the Flocker project, Mr. Speaker. And he didn't mention that he's my relative or Maji is my relative, Mheshimiwa Maji, Mr. Speaker, sir. But he was very quick to say that Norman is my relative and therefore water project is being done in his ward. But the same Kapsasur water project which is being done in his own ward was not very kind enough to say that this water project is going to share is done. Those are the few things I need to raise. Mr. Speaker, the honorable member, and they say that Mheshimiwa Dominic of Kabianga is my friend. Mr. Speaker, my chief accuser, in the same breath, didn't realize that at a place called Kibrengwe, somewhere in Kedawa, Kimogul, Mr. Speaker, a key Flocker water project is being done in that area at a cost of 17 million, and it is in the word of my good friend, which we just inspected the project today, Mheshimiwa Sigilai, Honorable Speaker. That is not your most word. And I'm happy that the chief accuser didn't say that the member is my friend. So because he's my enemy, if you're using his own terms, it means that the project is again being done in his word, and it's a very good thing, Mheshimiwa Speaker Sam. Mr. Speaker, the question that the governor is unbalanced in distribution of work is far-fetched. Today, we are building a facility at Soshat, upgrading Soshat Hospital to be level 4 hospital. And we are doing a project worth 158 million. I'm very happy again that my chief accuser didn't mention Mr. Speaker,
order. I will, because of the matter, I want us to allow His Excellency the Governor to make his submission.
Thank you for...
And then at some point in time, when Katwa will be enlisting, I will allow...
Okay, so the Honorable Rogoin, Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Rogoin, the motion mover, and which Mheshimiwa Paul Chichiri says,
honorable members, perhaps you know the governor is the first time is standing.
Thank you for your grace, Mr. Speaker.
So, I think they want you to refer to Honorable Rogoin as the motion mover.
Thank you for your grace, Mr. Speaker. I refrain from that and apologize.
Okay.
And Mr. Speaker, Honorable Rogoin didn't indicate, the motion mover didn't indicate that in Honorable Shelley's place we are building a facility. But he also indicate that is my friend, but we are doing a facility there today, Mr. Speaker, sir. What I'm trying to build on, in fact, the Mheshimiwa Honorable to your death of Ainamoi, the other day the roof flogger project, we were giving out daily course with him. And Ainamoi is not your Masad word. And the motion mover correctly did indicate that we are doing something. So the accusation of the governor that he has not balanced the word, I want to believe in the history of devolution, this is the time that we are speaking live to many of the wards across this county. Mr. Speaker, because I don't want to dwell with much, because I know that and you'll forgive me because I don't know the practices of this house, and unlucky for me, I've not been an MC or a member of parliament, just been in the executive. I would also just like to mention a few things, and this is for the clarity of the county. When we mention that the governor has sacked CECs and CEOs, we need to have facts. The governor has no powers to even sack a single CEO in the first place. The process of sacking a CEO is either through resigning or through disciplinary process in the Public Service Board. Those powers, and you have been in the executive yourself, Mr. Speaker, thank God, rest with the institutional bodies that are independent. In Kericho County, I would like to see a letter today being tabled that indicate the governor signing that I have sacked this CEO on this date and this date, Mr. Speaker, sir. Because the rest remains just wishful thinking. As to the CECs, Mr. Speaker, the internal processes as the appointing authority lies within the executive, the appointing authority. We were at Naivasha, there were discussion with the joint cabinet, there were demonstrations of performance across the county, and in the process, the appointing authority in his wisdom and the powers bestowed by the great people of the county, because these are representatives of the governor at that level, was able to make some directions on the same. Mr. Speaker, I want to say this. If the governor is going to be impeached for having sacked CECs or changed CEOs, this great house that we have today, Mr. Speaker, have also had 3 majority leaders in a short span of time. There was Honorable Finson, who I sent to Egypt to tour the pyramids. He came back, his seat was Mutembei. Mr. Speaker, in the same breath, my good friend and my compatriots, my good friend Paul Chichiri, holding briefly for him, before Kashagwa decided to make the current majority leader the leader of this house, Mr. Speaker, who is supposed to be impeached in this matter, because what is good for the goose must be good for the gander. Mr. Speaker, the great house we are today, and I'm proud to be here, have had different committees at different levels, at different transition, different chairs of committees in the places. The governor has never challenged or anybody, because the powers of the house cannot be challenged by anybody. It is rested on you, Mr. Speaker, sir, and the Constitution first powers on you and the members. The latest of those casualties is my good friend Honorable Kimarus, Mr. Speaker, who was a chair for us the other day, but now is home. But who is going to be impeached now on all these things? So what I'm trying to say is that...
Okay, for the purpose of record, because we are unanswered, I guess you must have been referring to Honorable Gilbert Ngetich.
Honorable Mr. Speaker, that's why I said, Mr. Speaker, you've been graceful to me because I'm in this house today. So what I'm just saying is that institutions have their strengths, institutions have their powers that cannot be challenged by anybody. In this same case, the institution of the county governor's office also, the people first and powers on him on matters CECs and the Public Service Board have also been given such other responsibilities. Mr. Speaker, sir, I saw something interesting in this motion. One very interesting thing is the governor is accused to have employed his brother and the wife of his staff. Mr. Speaker, you have been in the executive. The governor have no absolute role in the employment and recruitment and promotions of the staff of the county. The power is vested on the Public Service Board, which is a constitutional independent body. If the governor is facing an impeachment because he's accused of maybe nepotism, Mr. Speaker, then I'll ask myself the same question. The wife of my good friend, Honorable Shiri, is a staff in our county facility, Mr. Speaker, sir, who is supposed to be impeached, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, many members here, around, I don't want to mention names, 4 or 5, have their spouses working in the county government of Kericho. I have even confirmed them because they are noble citizens of this country who have gone to school and they deserve employment, Mr. Speaker, sir. And these things were happening when some of the members were seated in this same house as members of this house. Mr. Speaker, when I came as a governor, we confirmed them and we are working with them because they deserve jobs in this country. But Mr. Speaker, on the matter of whether the governor has employed anybody, the question rests with the Public Service Board of Kericho County, which is an independent body. In the same way, Mr. Speaker, we can't challenge that so-and-so has a relative working here. Just in the same way, in this assembly, there is the County Service Board. And in the County Service Board, Kenyans and people of Kericho come and apply a job. In one way or the other, there can be a coincidence that they can be relative of so-and-so. That, Mr. Speaker, is something that I think the Constitution provides for the same. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, I wish to say this. As a governor of this county, I regret that we're in this situation. That is devolution conference, a key event happening for this nation at Homa Bay. It was my sincere it could give us a chance to prepare. Mr. Speaker, we're having the last financial or basically second last financial year. It has always been my desire that we resolve our issues because impeachment is always the last resort when issues cannot be resolved. However, I wish to deny any wrongdoing. My senior counsel will come and demonstrate the hype stories of sodas, the hype stories of tissue papers, which was choreographed, planned to wipe public emotions. He will come and demonstrate that in a short while, Mr. Speaker, sir. And we will want to do this not for anything, for posterity. For posterity, because another impeachment motion will come to this house. We would want to treat a governor based on innuendos, on malice, but we would want the same to apply, that the law stands on its here and this place. Because as it is, I haven't seen statements, Mr. Speaker, that the governor withdrew funds of NAFCDB. Mr. Speaker, you have been the CC Finance for those years in Kericho County. The governor has no role in withdrawal of funds. He doesn't have the accounting rights at all the times. And the statements that have been made by the motion mover is that he is going to provide the financial statements in future. In future. But an impeachment is being discussed today as we wait for documents from the bank to be provided in future. Mr. Speaker, we need to be balanced in our thoughts. That where issues are, we keep fair justice where it deserves. The matter of Londiani will equally be dealt with my senior counsel, and I know we'll exhaustively discuss those details. But I wish to say, finally, that the process is ongoing. I just want to also request this great assembly that whether the impeachment becomes successful or not, because God knows the fate of everybody. We are here today, we are not there tomorrow. We are seated today as Waishimiwa of Kericho County, elected by the people. We will not be there forever. People have been in this house, they have gone. And I quote Senior Counsel James Orengo that when my time comes to go, I'll always go with my head high, knowing that I've done great for the people of Kericho County, even within a short time. And I've done it with my heart and passionately with my heart. And I'm not guilty. And I'm not afraid. I have summoned my soul for the last 1 week and asked myself what is happening. And I know that I am not a perfect person, I'm not an angel. I make mistakes just like any other person. But out of all this, Mr. Speaker, let's do some few things for Kericho County. The Public Service Board is not in place. The names are in this great assembly. These are institutions that need to operate and run. When we make recommendations that the CEO should face the Public Service Board, or recommendations that take the CEO to the Public Service Board, the work of the governor is just to write to the Public Service Board. In the absence of a functional Public Service Board, Mr. Speaker, the same will not be realized, unless we'll be forcing again another illegality to happen so that it forms another ground for an impeachment. And looking into the energy of motion mover, having moved this for the second time, I don't know if I'll survive this. Maybe you have another energy for a third one. But it's my prayer that the Lord will lead us into green pastures. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, as we do this, I still invite the honorable members of the Kericho County Assembly of Kericho. But all is not lost. We have a county that has been given by us, by the people of Kericho. We have just a year or two to finish on what our people ask us to do. It's an assignment that cannot happen in the place of rancors and disagreements. I invite the Kericho County Assembly of Kericho that there comes a time again when we can look into ourselves, hold our hands, look ourselves into our face, forgive one another, and move forward to a prosperous county. I'm ready to work with every member of the county assembly. Whether this motion will be defeated here, whether it will go to Senate and we will come back, whether it will be defeated in the Senate or it will move and we go to courts and come back, because our whole process, all these things, I still want to say I harbor no grudge to anybody, including the motion mover. I extend my hand that we are ready to work together, build this county together for the grace that the little time that God has given us. With those remarks, Mr. Speaker, I would wish to end by inviting lawyer Katwa Kigen and also request you, Mr. Speaker, for that cup of tea you had proposed, because the energy levels are going down on me. Thank you so much. And lastly, before, yes, Mr. Speaker, just lastly, I beseech of you, Mr. Speaker, with your grace, we are going to progress with this motion and finally vote. So many issues have been raised, that there is an e-system, e-procurement, and it's good to say this in public, that there is an e-system. The standing orders provide that we can vote electronically, we can vote through acclamation, we can vote through roll call. Mr. Speaker, all I beseech your good office, if there is one string lying between me and that, is fairness. Just fairness. But when it comes to voting, let it be transparent. If we will feel at your discussion and request you, Speaker, that we do a roll call voting and people will stand up and say that my name is so and so, honorable so and so, I want the governor to go home, I will smile, Mr. Speaker. If this one say this and this, I'll equally smile. And at the end of the day, if I may go, let me go with dignity and with fairness, because a democratic right of every individual. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and looking forward for the cup of tea under your grace. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, His Excellency the Governor, for your submissions and responses. Before Katwa, before you proceed, I think I want to, of course, from the submissions by the Governor, because of the time that we had, I hope, Katwa, I know you were keen. I have realized that the Governor has handled a number of the allegations that have been raised by the motion mover. He has addressed them. Probably, of course, if you have something to add on it, that is in order. But if you feel that the others that he has answered sufficiently, then that is also okay. So thank you for that, Governor, and you may proceed to have your cup of tea as your council continue with the submissions, and then you will also join us. And then before I open the floor for the members to contribute, if that is in order. So, proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. The governor will sit in for just a few minutes, then we can go for the much sought for tea. I would like to start by saying that we will supply, it looks like this process might take the whole day. We will supply by 2 p.m. the pages that have been referred to. We will make sure that by 2 p.m. on Monday they have been supplied. We request for that accommodation and we appreciate your indulgence on that.
That is okay.
Thank you very much. We take on board the point that you made that you are not aware of the orders. As I indicated, we were also interested parties. We were also sued. It's not so much that we filed the suit, and so whoever filed the suit will probably take up the issue. So I'd like to leave that issue there. You invited my attention to the Powers and Privileges Act. I have looked at it. I am aware of its provisions. On the issue of whether or not we can proceed to discuss issues that were discussed previously, probably just one more. Let me just retrace 1 minute. On the issue of the court orders, we just want to be on record on the hands that we are proceeding under protest in the face of the fact that we have no choice, and we cannot deny ourselves the opportunity to be heard, and so notwithstanding the existence of the orders, in view of the directions, we will proceed. Now, discussing the issue of the previous impeachment, notwithstanding that, a motion for removal of a governor by impeachment may be reintroduced. So the mainness, the latitude, the discretion is in whether or not it will be brought. It is no discretion as to whether or not you can rely on the grounds that were there. That one we are wrong. Mr. Speaker,
I was referring to subsection 2.
Yes.
Yes.
On me.
Yes.
It says, motion for the removal of a governor by impeachment may be introduced, and that is the only place where the word may is used in that standing order. May be reintroduced in the county assembly on other grounds other than. So it is absolute, other than. It is exclusive. It doesn't allow for any room to bring back Londiani, bring back Mutani. It doesn't allow for that, Mr. Speaker, sir. And the other important words that are used in that is that grounds that were highlighted in the previous impeachment. Now, I appreciate the point made by Honorable Rokon, that this issue was not discussed on merit, and Mr. Speaker, sir, also in giving your directions, you seem to be going back and have the effect of having not allowed the issue to proceed. But as pointed out to me by my colleague, Mr. Evans, highlighting is what is done in this floor, in this house. The fact of moving the motion, the fact of discussing it in this house is the aspect of highlighting, so that the moment you have exhausted the point of highlighting, you cannot bring it back. It doesn't matter what happened in the Senate. It only matters that it has been a subject that was highlighted in moving the motion. It is a subject that was highlighted in discussions on the floor, and it was debated on, and it was voted on in this assembly. For those reasons, Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to say that with the greatest respect, the assembly would be mistaken to allow and entertain issues relating to the previous
Order, Katwa. I already actually made a ruling that we proceed, despite I only allowed you to protest a bit, but you wanted to proceed.
Yes, I just wanted to have said that so that it is on record, and Just in case you change your mind, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Okay, proceed.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Now, Mr. Speaker, sir, there is an issue that my client has very particularly said I should mention before he goes for this extremely important cup of tea of his. It is the issue of the voting, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, my client comes from a very uncomfortable position that the information we have is that the voting system was installed last night, specifically targeted at the handling of this process. Both the timing, the hurry, makes us very uncomfortable. We also have information, Mr. Speaker, sir, that some votes belonging to some people supporting him, that is Amos Birir, Martin, Edna, and Dominic, have already been manipulated.
Yes,
we just want to be on record as protecting right from the
Katwa. Okay, fine. I will still refer you back to our standing order number 19, the responsibility for statement of facts. Of course, you have mentioned that on the matter of voting, which I don't know how unless you have been guided, because we're still prosecuting the matter, debating. When that time comes, I will be giving a ruling on how voting is done. But of course, our standing orders are very clear. On the aspect of speculation, let us not speculate, because you see, when we say the Honorable Dominic have been already, there is a vote casted, as mentioned by Honorable Katwa, then I don't know now what will happen. Should that not be the case when voting will be done? Of course, and remember that this is a house of facts, and so that I know Katwa is not a member of, I don't know whether he has been a member of parliament before or a member of county assembly. Probably he will understand that whatever he mentions, he needs to substantiate. Even the issues of procuring the system and all those things, those are in-house issues that only perhaps the administration can be able to confirm. And I don't think it's in the right place. It's not the right forum to debate on how was this, how the system was procured, when was the system procured, who knows even whether there is the system. I don't know. Those are some of the things Katwa that makes me not to allow you to continue discussing on the matter of voting, because we'll get there, because we are guided by our standing order. What is point of order? What is your point of order? And do you have other mics so that we don't keep on moving?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise on the point of order number 98, responsibility for the statement of fact. Mr. Speaker, the moment His Excellency was given an opportunity, he plead to you, Mr. Speaker, and the owners that you want fairness. Is it possible also for the Honorable Katwa Kigen to give us the facts that the members have voted already, Mr. Speaker? This is a matter that members of the public need to know, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if you can just allow me, Mr. Speaker, to cross over so that I can face Katwa Kigen, Mr. Speaker.
Okay.
Mr. Speaker, this is a matter that we are discussing, the resources belonging to Kericho residents, Mr. Speaker. We are discussing the issue of 84 million that was paid before anything was done to those to the people of this county, Mr. Speaker. We want, and I request, Mr. Speaker, using standing order number 1, you give Katwa Kigen to give us out the votes who were done and by whom, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. An issue that someone was paid 2.9 million, Mr. Speaker, so that to supply soil. Katwa Kigen, I know you might be practicing in a different field where you need to be paid so that you can do the work. But in this country, in this world, where on earth
that can contract the remaining money by the government so that they can do the work. So, Mr. Speaker, we want also, Katwa, I know that you have gone all the way to ICC, but this is a different setup that we want to know where is it final.
Order from the members, Honorable Lachini, if there was a hand, point of order.
Mr. Speaker, thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving the people of Inamoya an opportunity to be represented. Mr. Speaker, I was raising on the same point of order. You know, Mr. Speaker, what we are discussing here, Mr. Speaker, is a very serious allegations that was, labeled against our governor, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the legal counsel tries, Mr. Speaker, to pick issues from the Facebook, Mr. Speaker, and Mr. Speaker, in fact, I'm even worried, Mr. Speaker. Why is it that they are saying probably members of the county assembly that are supporting the impeachment because they have already, done the voting, Mr. Speaker, or are they? In my view, Mr. Speaker, I think they are just preparing our minds, Mr. Speaker. Maybe they have also, voted against the impeachment, Mr. Speaker. So he needs to substantiate, Mr. Speaker. And the same time, Mr. Speaker, 98.2. If the member cannot, because we treat Katwa as a member now because he, is giving us information. He needs to have those facts. If he doesn't, substantiate, Mr. Speaker, with facts, I think you need to make him, withdraw and apologize, Mr. Speaker. In case he doesn't, Mr. Speaker, you really might have order, Mr. Speaker, and of course, you know what normally is done when someone refuses to, to apologize, Mr. Speaker, and throw him outside the county assembly, Mr. Speaker.
There is a thing that Gilbert noticed first. There is a point of order, Gilbert noticed. Remember that these point of orders are eating the one and others that we had.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for this opportunity. I'm also given on the standing order number 98 and statement of facts that although we want to say, Mr. Speaker, sir, we live in a society where social media is much vibrant, Mr. Speaker, sir. And I also saw a photo which was done last night of 34 members voted. And then we wanted also to know how this 34 was obtained, Mr. Speaker, because even if it is the social media, Mr. Speaker, an honorable member seated in the House, Mr. Speaker, wrote it, Mr. Speaker, and we also felt threatened that some photo has been done, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable members, I want to give to, I'll only give to two. I'll give to the Honorable Policy Chief. And then I give to Honorable Eric Beck, and then finally leader majority, and then I give direction so that we proceed. I don't want us to make our the matters that are not in the substantive motion. We proceed, Honorable.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me an opportunity while I rose on a point of order, Mr. Speaker. This is a special sitting to discuss very, very weighty matters to do with funds, resources for the county of Kericho. Our standing order, Mr. Speaker, sir, is very clear, expressly the responsibility for statement of fact. Mr. Speaker, sir, if a member can rise, and especially a senior member like Katwa can rise before this House, we have a mess that is representing authority in this House, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, how can a whole senior member make very serious allegations that maybe some voting has been done? Mr. Speaker, sir, two things. It's either he substantiates with facts, or if he is unable to substantiate with facts, he apologizes. Or if he does not do that, Mr. Speaker, sir, you rule him out of order. Because, Mr. Speaker, sir, the whole country is following us. Mr. Speaker, sir, how can a whole member, a senior member, rise again and bring serious issue that voting has been done about some 34. Mr. Speaker, how do you admit into this House information? We are a house of rules and procedures. Anything that has not been processed to be admitted in this House is foreign, Mr. Speaker, sir. Then back, I take it back again to the statement of facts. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Gilbert will teach. It is unable to substantiate, Mr. Speaker, his allegations of 34. Mr. Speaker, sir, you better rule it out of order, Mr. Speaker. Number 3, the Honorable Governor, a whole governor, Mr. Speaker, sir, can raise and make very serious allegations that the Honorable Regan, the motion mover, is doing a road. Mr. Speaker, sir, this is answered. We are a house that does representation, legislation, and oversight. We do not implement, we do not execute anything, Mr. Speaker, sir. That is the height of displaying incompetence, Mr. Speaker, sir. And the Honorable Governor should also withdraw. I also take you back on the statement, the responsibility for statement of fact. If the Governor is unable to prove or substantiate that the Honorable is doing a road in this place, then the Governor should also substantiate. Thirdly, Mr. Speaker, sir, the Governor has made allegations, very serious allegations, that my spouse is an employee of the county. That I accept. Mr. Speaker, sir, my spouse was employed in 2010 by the national government under economic stimulus program. And she has been working, she has rose through the ranks. She's now a senior member, and she is a senior member in terms of cancer, Mr. Speaker, sir. She's a cancer specialist. So the Governor, again, I quote, these are House of Rules and Procedures. We are guided by the standing order, the Constitution, national laws. If you are unable again to substantiate, the Honorable Governor will better withdraw and apologize so that it goes on record that you are saying the truth. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. We are guided and we are ready to prosecute this very serious matter on the embezzlement of 85 million, the procurement irregularities, Mr. Speaker, sir, that this county has continued to perpetrate. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Auditor General put the Auditor General's report, put Kericho at number 2, that this county has been able, has carried out very serious procurement irregularities of 1.9 billion. Auditor General is an independent institution mandated to carry out audit and give audit reports regularly. So they've given out an audit report that county government of Kericho procurement irregularities of 1.9 billion. Mr. Speaker, sir, has been embezzled. So we will be prosecuting this very serious matter, and we are inviting the country, we are inviting this country to follow us. History will be written today. Today, history will be written. And we want to stand with the people of Kericho. Finally, Mr. Speaker, sir, the statement, the responsibility for the statement of fact, standing order number 98, guides us. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Eric Bet, and then Leader of Majority. Okay, Honorable Leader of Majority, and then I will give direction.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think it's high time we guide the discussion and the debate of the House, Mr. Speaker. One, if we will sit here, Mr. Speaker, discussing what was in the social media, Mr. Speaker. Whatever we've seen in the social media are so many, Mr. Speaker, to a level. Some of my friends here, Mr. Speaker, are my friends to maybe they are also my friends in Facebook, Mr. Speaker, aside being my friends and colleagues in the County Assembly of Kericho, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if we were to discuss the issue of voting, Mr. Speaker, yesterday and the other day, Mr. Speaker, we've seen section of honorable members, Mr. Speaker, of this County Assembly, being a voice voting, Mr. Speaker, in an hotel somewhere, Mr. Speaker, when there is no official sitting, there is no nurse, there is no speaker, there is no motion. So, Mr. Speaker, if we will go in that direction, Mr. Speaker, of saying, I saw this in the social media, you saw this in the social media. Mr. Speaker, social media is widely used by so many people, Mr. Speaker, and therefore, it is good to know that this house is guided by, one, the Constitution, number two, the standing orders, and the county government acts, Mr. Speaker. That if we can confine ourselves to those things, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me remind each and everybody here, Mr. Speaker, that if you are sick, when you are at the hospital, Mr. Speaker, you will not ask or you will not prescribe medicines for yourself, Mr. Speaker. You will wait for the doctor to see you, Mr. Speaker, then prescribe the medicine that you are supposed to take, Mr. Speaker. Number two, Mr. Speaker, when you are in the field, Mr. Speaker, I'm a football player. Number 9. Mr. Speaker, when you are in the field, Mr. Speaker, we have a referee, we have members or players of both teams, Mr. Speaker. And in this case, even looking and hearing the presentation here, Mr. Speaker, you will know that for a fact there are teams. Now, when you have a team A and team B, Mr. Speaker, the only person who will give guidance in the field, in the playing field, Mr. Speaker, is the referee, in which, in this case, Mr. Speaker, is one honorable Dr. Mutahi, the Speaker of the County Assembly of Kericho, is when it came that time, I don't know why we are preempting the issues of voting. Maybe it will not even get to that point. The last one, Mr. Speaker, on electronic voting, I don't know why when the County Assembly, you see, the president, who is also the party leader of the United Democratic Party, Mr. Speaker, has pronounced himself on people or Kenyans moving from the analog, Mr. Speaker, going digital. I don't know what is the problem when the County Assembly of Kericho decides to go digital, Mr. Speaker. I don't know why, but I believe the systems, whether they are there or not, Mr. Speaker, are subject to audit, Mr. Speaker. If they find that maybe this thing is not going to favor anybody, Mr. Speaker, let us sit, wait, we will challenge at the right time, Mr. Speaker. The issues of voting, I know, after being maybe this house for a very longer time now, Mr. Speaker, it will take that time, and that time, I believe, the Speaker, according to the traditions of the House, will guide the House at that time. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, thank you, the Leader of Majority. I want us to have a way forward so that we don't waste time on non-issues. Really, because we are in the midst of a debate. The only thing that I request both parties, the representatives of His Excellency the Governor, as well as the honorable members, is that I think that standing order of responsibility of facts is very important. So let us just avoid making statements that will require you to substantiate. That means you will be eating on the time that we have allotted to the governor. So let me direct this way. Another thing is that there is no way we can anticipate because the end process of this debate. However, I had the governor had made his submission very clear that he wanted a fair process. So, of course, as you all know, this house only we operate using standing orders, and anything that is outside these standing orders will be unfair. That is we need to note that. And then secondly, of course, when it comes to that matter of which you are raising, it shall be addressed at that point in time. I want us to avoid the dangerous path that we are taking, and I kindly request the Katwa lead counsel, because you know you mentioned that you have information that the Honorable Dominic has been voted yes, and what vote I know you said that vote already has been done. Of course, that is unless you will prove it, that is you are out of whatever. I'll be very kind not to initiate those procedures that the honorable members are suggesting. Perhaps he was just raising this concern, and therefore we will give it to Katwa to continue but perhaps, first, if to substantiate or withdraw on the voting, because already we are not yet there. I want to believe that there are issues that you can raise after. So let us avoid these honorable members, these point of orders that really are not necessary at the moment, so that we can really prosecute the matter as that are here, that has been raised by the motion mover. Let's follow the cue of the governor, because His Excellency the governor really responded to his issues point by point. That will save us time. Yes, lead counsel.
Mr. Speaker, sir, will you give me an opportunity to say something when we get to the
Yes, you say something about about you substantiate the allegation that you made, and then of course if you can't substantiate, you will have to withdraw, and then we close that matter on voting. We cannot discuss about voting. We are not yet there.
Okay.
Yes,
Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to apologize and withdraw what I said. I seem to be very popular at that point. I know the most vicious people who are against me are my good friends Tarimbo and Matthew. Having apologized and withdrawn, Mr. Speaker, sir, I know one of the speakers has said history will be made here. I think Mr. Tarimbo, Honorable Tarimbo, saying history will be made.
I think I know we will look all the honorable members. Probably Katwa may not know you by your names. I'll be guiding him. Honorable Tarimbo is not an official language. His name is Honorable Paul Chirchir.
Yes. So he said history will be made in this sitting today. I think that history might be in the sense of impeachment, and we want to say that history can only be made if the 18 votes of people who have said they are not supporting this impeachment is manipulated.
Yes.
Now, I would like to move on then to the
yes, the honorable Paul Chirchir, what is it?
Mr. Speaker, sir, I am rising again on a point of order. And like before the session began, you pronounced yourself that this sitting is official. Mr. Speaker, sir, the responsibility for statement of fact is very important. When I say history will be made today, what did I say? History will be made by the governor being impeached. Impeachment is a process. That process, we are not even at the tail end of the process. So why would you imagine that I'm thinking that is a position? How does he know that this is how I'll vote? I am waiting for that time to vote after prosecuting this matter. So number two, Mr. Speaker, sir, when he talks about 18, who are these 18? Who are these 16? Who are these 13? Who are they? Any information that is not yet official in this house, Mr. Speaker, sir, is misleading.
It isn't.
So when you tell us 18 and no vote has been taken, the honorable senior counsel should be guided accordingly. Mr. Speaker, sir, responsibility for statement of fact, and members shall be responsible for the accuracy of any facts which the member alleges to be true, and may be required to substantiate any such fact. So let the senior counsel substantiate. Using the right procedure, there are ways of admitting information into this honorable house. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Order, members, order. We will, if we continue that way, we will lose the direction. Already Katwa withdrawn the comment on the matter of voting by voting for some honorable members, and we have agreed that we are not yet there, and we cannot anticipate a process. So now going forward, so that we move forward, there should be no discussion on the matter of voting until when the chair will give direction and that thing ends. So that we proceed, so that we finish, we continue. So Katwa, you can now continue making your submissions. There is a submission by the governor. I hope it is not on the matter of voting anymore. Yes. Yes, let's give time to the governor. It is not on the matter of voting, because, Mr. Speaker, I recognize I already made my submission that I would like to submit to you and new chair is a fair process, and I did make that. I actually know the weight of this matter, Mr. Speaker, and that is why we need to ventilate very objectively on the same, Mr. Speaker. And equally, where Mheshimiwa Tarima had asked me to try and apologize, I do try and apologize. And at the same time, there are some questions of semantics, Mr. Speaker. When we're saying we're doing a road, you know, the English language is arbitrary in scope and space. So when we say we're doing, there is the act of doing, there is the implications and the implied meaning, Mr. Speaker, according to Naomi Chomsky, 1856, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there's something I forgot in my submission, Mr. Speaker. Let's go. Mr. Speaker, because I have limited time, there is an accusation, Mr. Speaker, that has been made, and I thought I forgot to respond, and it's a very important allocation that touches directly of the office of the governor. In the submissions of the Honorable Motion Mover, an indication is made that I rubbished or something to do with the whistleblower. And I thought, because the already touches in my office, Mr. Speaker, it's important to mention before we go for the cup of tea. And you know you are my age mate, it will be okay, we do that cup of tea together. Mr. Speaker, the office of the governor, as constituted, has the governor and the deputy governor conjoined by the hips. The deputy governor cannot be a whistleblower because he earns a salary to assist the governor in performing its functions. Part of the functions is not whistleblowing, because the deputy governor, it's important for the people to know this, the deputy governor has the responsibility of chairing sub-cabinet committees. These are very critical committees because you have been assisting, Mr. Speaker, which involves processing of materials and guiding the county on even matters discipline. And when I say this, Mr. Speaker, I have noted two concerns: that in the Montgomery report, the whistleblower was still the deputy governor. In these other reports, I don't know if you are going from, thank you. This other report, Mr. Speaker, in this other fictitious payment, the whistleblower is still the deputy governor. It is good for this House to make a determination in a fair way that the governor and the deputy governor are elected on the same pair of tickets. Salaries are drawn by the deputy governor. My view, Mr. Speaker, as you appreciate even whistleblowing, is that there must be a boundary between malice, political aspirations, and discharge of duties given by the Constitution. The whistleblower in this matter is an interested party because one is elected to serve the people of Kericho. In this service is about providing governance, directions, and administrative work to the CCs, the CEOs, and the staff of Kericho County government. So when we say that the governor found it irresponsible for his principal assistant to have uttered such remarks, it is a constitutional matter that must be looked beyond even this assembly. Because if today there's a president here, we have the deputy president. If the deputy president will come and say, I'm calling for a press conference to make the nation be aware that money has been stolen in State House, Mr. Speaker, he's paid money to support the president, advise the president, and guide the president. It is also the same principle within different structures. And that is why, even as we mention all these debates and concerns, I wish to mention that as we celebrate the whistleblower, this assembly must at some point, whether the governor will be there or not, and I trust God will guide us on this, be able also to ask the whistleblower when was he, when the money was getting lost. In fact, if it had been here with me, because we are controlled by the hip, so we don't know what we are here to say this. But however, Mr. Speaker, I'll give you a scenario.
You equally have, you also have a deputy speaker in this house. The formation of the county assembly is that the speaker and the county speaker. It is going to be very across a portion of justice. If your deputy speaker will go to a press conference today outside this presence and say that the service board of the assembly has told this man, or this committee is not working. His business is to come, guide you and alert you and sit together as top administrators of the county assembly do so. So it is this out of this concern that I rose to also make this submission that while we celebrate that there is a whistleblower of this one, then we must also be recognized of the fact that at the same time the same whistleblower are to join with the governor to do service for the people of Kericho. Once again, Mr. Speaker, thank you for your grace, and I know that God will give us justice and help us to move forward as one people of Kericho County. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Governor. I think you have made your point very clear on the matter of whistleblower. Now, Lead Counsel Katwa, now you proceed in the manner that I directed so that we save on time. Remember, we started at 14:00. I can see it's 15:20.
Mr. Speaker, sir, let me address the allegations. I've forgotten the name, but I know him as Honorable Tarimbo, has asked me to substantiate the 18. I can either do it now, sorry, to substantiate the point of history. I can either do it now or at the end of my presentation on the issues. May I start on the issues, Mr. Speaker, sir, the less contentious ones. The first allegation that was made against His Excellency the Governor was the issue of the maintenance of the 15 contention. Our position generally on the whole of these allegations are three. The first one, Mr. Speaker, sir, is that it cannot be right, as Honorable Rogon said, that the moment an accident occurs somewhere, or a death occurs in an hospital, or somebody steals 1 shilling, you rush to the governor to take responsibility for it. It is our view that it is only when the governor when the issue is brought to the attention of the governor and he fails to act, that his responsibility is triggered. It is not in place or in lieu of the responsibility of the individuals. And that is why this assembly is given powers to call in the CCs and to recommend their removal, and your recommendations can result in their actually having to retire from office. And that is why also there is criminal responsibility for anybody who is culpable for any wrongdoing. There is civil liability for any wrongdoing. There are proceedings also for asset recovery. All those point to the point that the first point of stop is to identify the person who is liable for the wrongdoing and to take him to task on the allegation. It is not correct to say, as Honorable Rogon said, that you start by knocking out the governor and then you de-escalate the issue to the person responsible. Now, the other issue we want to say is that the entirety of the allegations, all the allegations that have been brought here, about 12 of them, in none of them is it said that the governor either was participating in the tender evaluation or tender award, or that he signed the checks for the payments to any of those contractors or any of those individuals, or that he procured any of the services or any of the goods or any of the works, or that he went to the bank to withdraw money. None of the allegations point to him in person. And so we just want to put emphasis on the fact that much as this motion has been coined in a way to suggest that the governor is personally liable, the truth of it is that the totality of the documents do not point to him in person. And with that then said, I just want to run through the allegations that have been made, and I was dealing with the one, so our defense is mainly based on the material that were given to us by the staff, or rather, the material that were given to the governor by the staff, attendant to the issues raised in the motion and in the reports. The governor, as he said, would have really cherished an opportunity to be able to act on those reports, Mr. Speaker, sir. And given an opportunity, he commits to act. And whether that act will entail suspension of anybody, dismissal of anybody, referring somebody to the Public Service Board for disciplinary measures, reporting anybody to the DCI or to EACC, the Honorable Governor is committed to taking action in case any impropriety is found. And for purposes of that, he is committed to starting the report from this assembly and doing his own investigations, attendant to which he will take action. He wants the assembly to be aware that he is committed to doing that. Now, on the issue of the maintenance of 15 houses, the cost of 2.9 million, the response of the governor, as per the records given to him by the staff, is that indeed some work has been done. It's not yet completed, and some works are ongoing. The accuracy of this is an issue that with time he should be able to determine and address. He also wishes to emphasize that in respect to that issue of the housing, he supplied the document showing what had been supplied, what had been done on the ground, and the materials that were on that had been delivered to the location, and the ongoing works. And documents were supplied. I would like to move on to the next allegation, being the alleged goods that were not delivered, and that is soya beans, maize, jam, sunflower, cottonseed, at the cost of 14 million. And the documents we have and which we are told the assembly was supplied with is because the whole case rests on the dichotomy of whether payment was made before delivery or delivery was made ahead of payment. And the position of the county staff, the executive, is that indeed delivery was preceded payment. The payment was made after the delivery of these items, that is the soya, the maize, the sunflower, the cotton, and so on and so forth. Now, it is said when the motion was being moved that a certain tonnage, I remember something like 10,000 tons were found on the ground instead of 30,000 tons. The explanation we have is that these are consumable. It's not like they rest there through. They come and the farmers pick them, the cooperatives pick them, and so the mere fact that you do not find them on the ground is not necessarily proof or an indicator that the deliveries were not done. I would like then to move on to the next issue of the overpricing. And we've seen so much on social media about tissue papers that cost 2,700 and hand towels that cost 3,600. The materials that we have that were supplied by the staff and which we are told the assembly were given were that indeed the tissues, the price of 2,750 was for 40 bales containing 40 pieces of tissue paper each. So the 2,700 is 40 bales times 40 pieces. So the 2,700 is not the cost of one unit. It is the cost. It is 40 times 40 divided by 2,700. On the issue of hand towels, the information and the documents we have in terms of the procurement of those items is that it was 3,600 related to 5 dozens of the hand towels. So it's not true to say 3,600 was for one unit of hand towels. It related to 5 dozens. And the documentations on all these issues were supplied, and we've supplied the same to this assembly. And as Mr. Speaker, you already observed at the outset, you indicated that indeed we supplied our statement. The first statement, there are 2 statements, both dated 13th of August, and then the explanation is at volume 2, page 1 to 26, and all the supporting documents, including the documentation relating to these tissue papers, hand towels, are at page 228 to 326. On the issue of works, goods and services that were allegedly not properly procured, our response is that they were properly procured, and the documents showing the floating of the tenders, the evaluation of the bids, the award of the tenders, and the payments were supplied. All the documents are in the bundle we have supplied, page 28 to 325 of our documents. Now, it is also alleged around the same issue that some contracts were split so that they would escape the criteria of a substantive bidding. The committee was given the procurement plans for each of these items. And if you compare the procurement against the procurement plan, it will be noted that none of the procurements was split. Each of them was done as a block as had been anticipated and planned for in the procurement plan. On the issue of retention, we also, of course, want to observe that on that issue of alleged split tenders and impropriety in the procurement process, we did our utmost best because we didn't have details of those allegations. They were general allegations. There was no specific case where we were pointed to a specific bid or a specific tender. On the issue of retention, it is said that some payments were made after 5 years of works. And we want to say that the law on retention runs for 6 years. The contracts provide for retention for up to 6 years. So any claim made within the period of 6 years is a valid claim on the retention amount. And it is only paid upon satisfaction that any defects that arose have been done. In none of the, other than making the general accusation that payments were made 5 years down the line relating to retention, which we are saying was right, other than making that general statement, it is not specified anywhere in the allegations that indeed there is a specific case where there was a defect and payment was made for retention before the defect had been rectified. And it is the position of the executive that indeed there is no case where there was a defect that had not been rectified by the time of payment. However, as we said, we will be conducting investigations on this. We will apply, the governor will conduct investigations, establish indeed if there are any cases where there was any impropriety in the payment of retention. And at this point, Mr. Speaker, sir, with the greatest respect, you will realize that these are the payments you made 5 years ago. And so we might call you to come and assist us to clarify some of those, if it is actually a substantive issue. On the documentation, it is alleged that they are lacking documents and some lack IFMIS invoices and stamping. We very categorically say that there is nowhere where documents are missing. I know Honorable Ogony said that one of the challenges they had in the course of the committee hearings is that there were instances when the staff were asked to supply documents and they either took too long or they brought the documents in piecemeal. Our position from the position of the executive, the office of the governor, is that all the documents are there. They have been supplied in the documents we have supplied in this assembly. But we would like to make additional explanation on the issue of IFMIS to this effect. All payments that were made using the IFMIS system. And so the contention made in one of the allegations that indeed some taxes were avoided cannot be true, because the IFMIS system itself not only secures the guarantee that the payments are made, but it is also interconnected with KRA, and so nobody who has been paid can escape having to pay taxes. And so that allegation that indeed there were instances when parties or contractors escaped having to pay taxes or that they were paid outside IFMIS, we deny completely, as we deny the allegation that there are any documentation lacking. And we put anybody saying that the documents are lacking or that taxes were not paid or that payment was made outside IFMIS to strictly proof in the allegation. That allegation is not specified. There is no specified allegation saying contractor X was paid outside IFMIS or that he escaped paying taxes or that there was an impropriety in terms of that process. And so I would like to raise that contention there. Around the same issue, Mheshimiwa Ogony in the course of presentation says that there are cases where other people's signatures were used. There is no specific point at which it is said person X signature was used by person Y. And if we was applied to that, we will be able to answer to that. I can see Mr. Ogan seems to have an answer to that, but we will take it when debating. On the issue of the employment of a brother and a wife of a staff member, His Excellency the Governor had explained, but we would like also to say, as part of our defense, that the wife of the staff member and the brother of the governor, if it were to turn out that they were employed by Public Service Commission, I know that has already been said, but we want to say very emphatically also that that contention can only be legitimate if it was being said that those people were not qualified to hold those offices. If they are qualified, they are no less entitled to have sought to be employed, and there is no wrongdoing in engaging them. And so we would like to have said that on that issue. On the issue of market survey, it is our contention that everything has been brought within the general market price. And I have already explained the issue of the tissue papers, the issue of the hand towels, the issue of the sodas. With that in place, with that explanation in place, it will, I know Honorable Ogon used it as an illustration to show how the blindness to market survey led to acquiring items way out of price. And we are saying that indeed, if you take into account the proper facts, you will realize that they were not way too far off the market. Of the market price. We are unaware of the allegations of the governor having been given irregular advances or having walked into banks to collect money. And the details of that allegation has not been substantiated. Now I'd like to discuss the two items raised, that is the issue of NAV CDP and FLOCA together. Now, the two projects, of course, as we all know, are World Bank projects. My instructions are that FLOCA is not only is funded by two donors, that is German government and World Bank. These projects do not allow for the alleged misappropriation. And the allegation that there were any misappropriations in these projects are completely false from where we sit. We also come from the position that it is very unfortunate to flag out a project as good projects as this as part of the impeachment, and it can only be intended to drive out the donors who are supporting these projects when there is no justification. All these projects are managed by donors, and they are governed by donor controlled regulations. They provide the regulations, and they also provide very rigorous audits. Part of the audits accounted for or has not been properly done, the next phase cannot be done. And so that those checks and balances by the donors are foolproof against any manipulation and abuse. We want to emphasize also that other than the complaints raised for purposes of this impeachment, none of the donors has raised any complaint on these projects. And equally very important is to say the auditors who audit these donor projects are not the county staff. It is donor auditors. And so if there was any impropriety, those auditors would have picked that up. And I want to additionally say all those projects are activity-based. They have project fund utilization guidelines. They have annual work plans, and they have budgets assigned to each phase. And so it's not possible. It's not true that there was any money taken away, lost. It is not possible to have taken away any money from those projects without the donors themselves raising complaints. And so our position is that that is a complete red herring. and it is very unfortunate that it is being brought for the purposes of impeachment when it has the collateral effect of driving away these donors from supporting and assisting the residents of Kericho. On the issue of SACCOs, we want to say it is alleged that 19 out of 30 SACCOs were found to have become eligible for various supports as at the time the committee went on the ground, and that it is also said in the allegations that 7 of them are the only ones who have received support. It is also alleged that some of them cannot account for receipt of items supplied to them, or that some of the supplies were substandard. I would like to answer all those questions on behalf of the governor to this effect. The first one is to say, yes, it is true that 19 out of 30 had qualified. And the reason and explanation is that each of those SACCOs needed to meet some criteria set by both the donor, the national government, and the county government for them to qualify to be incorporated in that project. And so it is only those ones who have qualified that were incorporated. And so the reason why it is 19 rather than 30 is not because anybody was discriminative, it is because of the rigorous criteria processes that are required for them to qualify. Mr. Speaker, sir, in the presentation we've brought here, we've shown that as a result of the efforts of the county executive, the donors, and the national government, the remainder 11 SACCOs have now qualified as we speak now.
Katwa, I'll give you extra 10 minutes because we started at 2. It's 3:40 now. I was kind enough because there was some point of orders here and there. So
how many minutes did you say, Mr. Speaker?
10 minutes.
Could I beg for 15, Mr. Speaker?
Right.
15 only.
I'll give you 15.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir, for that grace. And so our explanation is that the 19 were the ones who had qualified, and as we speak today, all the wards are represented. The other 11 have, as a result of efforts and enterprise of the executive of the county, the executive of the county, the national government, and the donors have qualified, are in the process of being onboarded. Now, the issues of procurement, these are donor-funded projects. The standards set by the donors is such that they can only procure some of those, including those laptops being said that they have been refurbished and so on. That is completely false. The standards are set by the donors, including the furniture. And so there is no case where it is possible, and we wish somebody could come with any of those alleged refurbished laptops or any of those broken seats. And of course, if the seats have been used for a while, they would break. But the point I just want to emphasize is that the standard set by the donors is such that it is not possible to have a case where the standard of the items delivered is less. As a rider to that also, my instructions are that it is upon the SACCO itself to requisition for what they want. If they want a table, if they want a chair, if they want a walking stick, it is them to say, we are requesting that you supply us with this. If they want an office, it is them to requisition for that. And so it is only supplied to the extent to which they have requested. So it's not like you wake up one morning and you say you want to distribute pens like it was done this morning in this hall, or that you wake up one morning and you say you want to distribute shorts. It is per need. It is based on the need of the SACCO, the requisition for it, it is applied, and they acknowledge it. And the position we have is that each of them has records of the receipt of what was applied to them. Mr. Speaker, sir, in view of the time you've given me, I would like to raise the arguments on those 2 projects. That's FLOCA and NAFCDB at that point. The issue of the projects which are said to be skewed, Honorable Okon could let them bad fly. People have already shown that it is not true. It is not true that they are skewed. It is true that they have been spread out. But more to the point and more seriously is that my instructions is that this is a 3-year project. 2024-2025 financial year, 25-26 financial year, and 26-27 financial year. And by close of the year 2027, every ward will have been supplied. The contention that Chemosot is being preferred is not true. It is also not true that 21 million was spent. It is actually, the truth is that it is only 16 million that has been spent. The work plans for these projects is such that if it is closely looked at, some of the projects will attract more expenditure than this Chemosot that is being picked on. Some will incur more expenditure than that Chemosot. And there is also reference to some other projects, Toroy Tanya, I think, and and Chemamun. And my instructions that the executive wishes that there was audience for the people from those areas. They would come and say they are very happy. The project was completed, it was handed over to them, and they are very happy with its performance. And so to say that there is any deficiency in those projects is inaccurate. And there is no skewedness, there is no discrimination. I know His Excellency was asked to withdraw the contention about the road. The argument on the road was not meant to say that Mheshimiwa Rogonyi was doing the road. The point that was being made is that there is no skewedness. Projects are being run throughout the county. There is no selection of saying it is being taken to where His Excellency's former friend Matthew comes from, and another one is being denied. On the issue of strategic intervention projects, Mr. Speaker, so I just have 3 issues to cover. Strategic intervention projects. It is said, and I know Honorable Rokonyi very specifically mentioned this, that indeed no works have been done. On this one, we are ready for any consequence. It is the instructions we have are that the position we gave the committee is the exact position on the ground, being that the kitchen staff is at the walling level and MCH is at slab level. Sorry? Yeah,
no, let's allow Katwa to...
Yes, but I'm glad that what Matthew is saying, he's saying it's very true what I'm saying, Mr. Speaker. Now, so we would like to make the general denial that it is not true that there are weak controls at the executive, that there are inadequate policies in place, that the accounting systems are wanting, that there is either fraud or intended fraud on the part of the governor and his office, or that he has made any withdrawals, or that he has committed any coercions or irregular awards, or that he has interfered with any tender awards, or that he is making skewed tenders, or that the projects that are being run under his watch are improperly implemented, or that there is unfair distribution or theft. We deny all those allegations. We know that those allegations are not supported. Mr. Speaker, sir, my instructions are to just say that in terms of the governor's commitment to take action on these projects, on the report of the Assembly and the results of any investigations he is going to conduct, is that upon it being found that people who are liable to answer to the Public Service Board being found to be culpable, it would require that they be sent to Public Service Board. And therefore, my instructions are also to request that the Assembly kindly considers approving the pending issues of the Public Service Board. In terms of taking action, because I know there was multiple reference to action not having been taken on Londiani, on Kasumitani, and so on and so forth, we would like to indicate that between now and the time that the Assembly made their report, EACC were given documents relating to some of these projects. So it's not correct to say nothing has been done. it is a fact. I hope, Mr. Speaker, sir, you will not ask me to substantiate. Anyway, I can substantiate, but that's a fact. It is a fact that indeed EACC have already been to the county and has already handed over some of the documents for EACC to look at. And so if you have more information, you are welcome to help the governor to redress these issues. And His Excellency requires about 28 days to complete that. Mr. Speaker, sir, I would think that is all I wanted to say in response to all those issues, and I would like to rest my submissions there. I thank you very much for the audience you've given me. Mr. Speaker, sir, you had asked me to substantiate what I said about the history, and that that history cannot happen because there are 18 members. If the 18 members can just stand so that we
Katwa.
Mr. Speaker, sir.
You cannot give direction. In fact, the honorable members themselves, you are out of order. I cannot even expect you to take directives from honorable Katwa. You are out of order. Katwa, you are out of order.
Okay. Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to thank you for the courtesy you've shown us, the time you've extended for me. I really appreciate it. I thank all the honorable members. All arguments were made about me being part of this assembly.
All the honorable members.
I accept your adoption of me as member of this assembly. That's all I want to say. Thank you so much for the courtesy, for the audience, and Mr. Speaker, sir, and those MCAs. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Katwa. Honorable members, I think we gave governor's team, that's like 2 hours, I think 1 hour 50 minutes, but we all agree that there was a lot of point of orders. So the floor now is open for debate and contribution, and thereafter, of course, I will also guide on the other process. Honorable members, the floor is open for debate and contribution. The leader of majority, the leader of majority. And as we contribute, let us try to confine ourselves to the substantive motion before us.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Let me also take this opportunity to thank the representatives of His Excellency the Governor and the Governor himself. Maybe, Mr. Speaker, before I take up my submissions, maybe to support the motion, Mr. Speaker, you will allow me to inform the House, Mr. Speaker, of the current incidents that has occurred, Mr. Speaker. I think you've been seeing me going out and coming in, Mr. Speaker. It's because of some very serious emergencies, and this will concern the safety of the honorable members. Maybe before you decide, before we finish discussing this motion, it is good to take note that our gate B, Mr. Speaker, I was called upon by the Sergeant at Arms together with the security teams that, and I read the statement, Mr. Speaker, that at around 10:50 a.m. this morning, an unfortunate incident occurred within the presence of the County Assembly of Kericho. A vehicle registration number KAH 075Y, a county government vehicle, boarded and accompanied by close to 50 goods, Mr. Speaker, driven by non-driver, because it's a government vehicle, Mr. Speaker, rammed into gate P of the assembly. The vehicle is mounted with public address system, which is always used by the governor's press team. Mr. Speaker, assembly officers manning and other working in the kitchen were almost injured, Mr. Speaker, as they scampered for safety. Over 10 police officers who witnessed firsthand the incident. We wish to thank the National Police Service officers who acted promptly toward the attempt which aimed at forcing their entry in the assembly and causing injury to the honorable members of the county assembly as well as the staff. We further wish to thank especially the DCI department, Mr. Speaker. They've taken the vehicle that is normally used by the county executive, that vehicle, KAH, it is used for public address issues, Mr. Speaker. It has been towed to the police, and the goods has been dispersed, and so far 5 have been apprehended and they are in the custody, Mr. Speaker. So it is good for the information of your own safety that this is a weighty matter, that you need to be very careful even as you move out, because if you see these people trying to come run into the gate, Mr. Speaker, we have the kitchen closer to that gate, so it is always good maybe for the honorable members and the staff of the county assembly that even immediately we finish on this, it is a security matter, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, allow me now, Mr. Speaker, maybe the concerned committees, Mr. Speaker, since it is a county government vehicle, Mr. Speaker, we know the issues of work tickets. It is signed always by the chief officers, Mr. Speaker. We have the transport officers and the activities of that vehicle, Mr. Speaker, when it comes to the issue. We need, maybe immediately after this, Mr. Speaker, we take the actions to that effect, Mr. Speaker, because it's something that touches on the lives of the people. Now, Mr. Speaker, in supporting the motion, Mr. Speaker, of today, Mr. Speaker, one, the motion mover, Mr. Speaker, has elaborated on so many things, Mr. Speaker. It should not be diverted, Mr. Speaker, that the key reason why we are here today, Mr. Speaker, I want to decline or oppose what His Excellency the Governor said about the whistleblower, Mr. Speaker. The whistleblower, if you see, we have the rights to information, Mr. Speaker, to address and the likes. If the whistleblower is against the corruption, we will not say he should be seated waiting for other agencies to come when he or she has seen, Mr. Speaker, that there is a very serious corruption in our county. Mr. Speaker, I'm in the budget committee. In many times, Mr. Speaker, we try to get even a small figure, a small amount, Mr. Speaker, to take to our people. When you see a total investment, Mr. Speaker, close to 85 million, it's not a small thing, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm the leader of majority of this county assembly. And in this case, Mr. Speaker, our party leader, who is His Excellency the President, while he normally, Mr. Speaker, pronounced himself on issues of corruption, Mr. Speaker, he talks of coercion and corrupting various committees of different houses, Mr. Speaker, to condone the corruption. And indeed, Mr. Speaker, he distanced himself on these issues of corruption. I'll call all the honorable members, Mr. Speaker. I know each and every individual member of this county assembly that when it comes to a matter of corruption, we were elected or selected to this county assembly to represent the interests of our people and make sure that we do legislation that will take monies to the people, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I say by honorable matter to Mr. Speaker, I think it's only the legal departments, Mr. Speaker, that at times you have to do the deposit before you are represented by legal counsels, Mr. Speaker. But when it comes to government procurements, Mr. Speaker, you do the work. The only person that is allowed, Mr. Speaker, the government, Mr. Speaker, in this case, should not pay you before you render services. Mr. Speaker, the CEC in charge of agriculture, Mr. Speaker, has been moving around, cheating the public that the issue of throwing time in Capsa House World, Mr. Speaker, that they could not supply the full, as per the POQs, Mr. Speaker, bill of quantities, and the full quantities, Mr. Speaker, to throwing time cooperative society, basically because they don't have stock, basically because some of these raw materials will expire. I was wondering, Mr. Speaker, whether the members of Toronto cooperative societies, Mr. Speaker, have eaten one animal or two. I think a cooperative society is such a huge society, and that's why before procuring those things, Mr. Speaker, they must have seen the need from and the request from that cooperative society before they supplied those fees, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is a case that payments was made around February, Mr. Speaker, but the supplies was done immediately. The whistleblower, Mr. Speaker, blew the whistle, and the committee in this house, Mr. Speaker, was formed by yours truly, the Honorable Majority Leader, Mr. Speaker. Before the members proceed, Mr. Speaker, is when they decided to supply, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, even as we try to defend the issues of corruption, Mr. Speaker, it needs extraneous allowance, Mr. Speaker, for honorable members to defend side things, Mr. Speaker. I want to cite Honorable Paul B, Mr. Speaker. He is the one, Mr. Speaker, we were seated here. He asked me to send the members very fast, Mr. Speaker, to Toronto because things were not going well there, Mr. Speaker, including the floater project that was constructed amounting to 9 million, Mr. Speaker. Yet the cooler there, Mr. Speaker, is fake, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the committee report, the other committee report that was tabled in this house, Mr. Speaker, was adopted unanimously, Mr. Speaker, and I can refer you to the other committee reports, Mr. Speaker, the approval in this house. All the honorable members of this house approves the report and recognize that actually we had lost money through these dubious methods, Mr. Speaker. Now, Mr. Speaker, I will wait, Mr. Speaker, to see an honorable member who, during the debate, Mr. Speaker, supported the report, and now since the report formed part of this impeachment, Mr. Speaker, I'm waiting, Mr. Speaker. Coercion is there, Mr. Speaker, and that's the reason I've been seeing Honorable Katwa Kigen here, Mr. Speaker, insisting that he wants to see these honorable members, Mr. Speaker. We know corruption can even find its way, Mr. Speaker, to this house. So we will be keen to see the members of this county assembly, Mr. Speaker, voting to support the corruption, Mr. Speaker. Katwa Kigen has got the right, Mr. Speaker. That is his provision, Mr. Speaker. But for a honorable member who represent that Namaboga, Mr. Speaker, who says on the highway, Mr. Speaker, we collect tax, then we take services back to them, Mr. Speaker. When we see people stealing and we support those honorable members, I am waiting for that time, Mr. Speaker, to see these honorable members. That's why yesterday, Mr. Speaker, I said, indeed, and I was quoting, Mr. Speaker, that during the election of the speakers of the county assembly, which you are among them, Mr. Speaker, I remember there is one honorable aspirant of the speaker at that time, Mr. Speaker, and locked close to 31 members of this county assembly in Kisumu, Mr. Speaker. But coming to real voting in the house, Mr. Speaker, the speaker got only 12 votes, Mr. Speaker. So I will not be surprised, Mr. Speaker. The reason why these people are insisting on different methods of voting, Mr. Speaker, is because of coercion and corruption that has found roots to this house, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, you will allow me, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, protect me, and I will give you to speak. So this is what I will continue to prosecute your point. Everyone members not allowed to tolerate. Mr. Speaker, we have your time. We had a refurbishment of county council houses, Mr. Speaker, that now the county government houses, Mr. Speaker. You know the issues of asbestos, and the lawyer Katwa Kigen knows the effects. According to the research, it has been found that the asbestos, Mr. Speaker, that's the reason immediately we removed, Mr. Speaker. We bury them almost 8 feet down the ground, Mr. Speaker, because it infects the human being with the issues of lung cancers, Mr. Speaker. And for that reason, Mr. Speaker, the Department of Lands saw it good, Mr. Speaker, that we refurbished those houses, Mr. Speaker. But to our surprise, Mr. Speaker, people were paid before works were done in Kipkelian town, Mr. Speaker, a sub-county where I come from, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when we talk of public participation, we've been doing several public participation, Mr. Speaker. I'm not a member of Lands Committee, Mr. Speaker. But at times, Mr. Speaker, it gets logic that you purchase a piece, even the biggest hotel, the 5-star hotel that we know in this country, Mr. Speaker, cannot afford even to sell a piece of soda at a cost of 500 shillings, Mr. Speaker. I don't know now, the common manage who came for public participation could even take a soda, while kindly request that whoever will be protecting this corruption, Mr. Speaker, needs to charge the culprits the highest amount, Mr. Speaker, because this is the biggest job I have ever seen. I submit, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Leader of Majority. Of course, I give you more time because you are the Leader of Majority. Now, moving forward, I'll be giving not more than 5 minutes to a member in that order. Honorable Dominic, Honorable Paul Kiptau B, and then Honorable Dominic. Yes.